To give you the bio here of the Honorable Mayor Michael B. Hancock, and he will be our speaker in just a few minutes. Michael B. Hancock became Denver, Colorado's 45th mayor in July 2011 and immediately began to transform Denver into a major global competitive city. With the 5th busiest airport in the United States, serving more than 53 million passengers annually. Mayor Hancock is leveraging Denver International Airport to make the entire region a gateway to the world. Mayor Hancock has secured 5 new non-stop international trips out of Denver, including Tokyo, Mexico City, Reykjavik, Iceland, and Panama City, bringing a combined $203 million in economic benefits to the city of Denver. These routes are opening new connections between Rocky Mountain West to Asia, Europe, and Central America. To help Denver area compete globally in the marketplace, Mayor Hancock is also working to establish a bustling airport city, an aero metropolis, which will create more than 30,000 new jobs over the next 20 years. The first phase of these initiatives include a new 500-room hotel at the Denver Airport, and we've all seen it, and a 20-mile rail line linking Denver to the airport. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Hancock has recently named the first mayor to serve the Federal Aviation Administration's Management Advisory Council, where he will bring Denver's ingenuity to the table as he works to advance major issues on behalf of DIA, other airports, and the aviation industry. He also serves on the U.S. Conference of Mayors Transportation Committee. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mayor Michael B. Hancock.
Thank you, Denny. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all tonight and to meet the recipients of the Dahl Scholarship is a real honor as well. Those young men and women, I told them I will see them on the plane. So I'm excited for them and for their families, and what a tremendous thing you're doing here. Let me just say, while the date of September 11th will forever remain in this country's and indeed this world's history, it is up to all of us to remember it for a time where we came together under the ever so distinct umbrella of love and compassion. It is a time to remember the courage of Captain Jason Dahl and First Officer Leroy Homer, along with 5 flight attendants, Lorraine Bay, Sandra Bradshaw, Wanda Green, Cece Lyles, and Deborah Welsh, and the 37 passengers who took off at 8:42 a.m. from Newark, New Jersey, Liberty International Airport, bound for San Francisco on that fateful morning. We must also remember that when this great nation is put to the test, we do not buckle, we do not fold, we overcome. I don't know if any of you have had the honor and privilege of touring the new 9/11 campus where the 2 World Trade Centers stood in New York City recently. I most recently completed my 2nd visit and tour since the facility was under construction and now completed. The 2nd time was just a couple months ago, and I asked my tour guide to take me back to the very special place that caught my attention the first time I toured it. It was still under construction. And that special place was the tree. Does anyone here know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. The tree that serves as a symbol to me really about America's resolve, perseverance, and tenacity. You see, every tree around the World Trade Centers were destroyed on 9/11. This particular tree was also uprooted and was damaged very badly damaged. But one of the landscape specialists who walked the campus as they decided what they could salvage and save, this was the only tree they felt that they could be saved if they replanted it. And if you walk up to the tree, you can literally see the bark where the tree was cut off and has begun to regrow again. On my second visit, not only has the tree grown by many feet, but it was in full bloom, and it was beautiful. This tree serves to me as a symbol of America's resolve following 9/11, where the terrorists on that day may have knocked us to our knees, but they forgot that we were indeed the United States of America and that we would indeed stand up again. That tree is a symbol, and if you ever get to the museum and to this memorial, I encourage you to ask for the special tree. Go take a picture of it. Go see where hope, where pain ended, and where hope began. The proponents of fear and evil may be strong, but the sheer courage and resilience within the citizens of this great nation is that much stronger. United Airlines, I want to personally thank you for orchestrating this remarkable event, and thank you for being such an important partner to this city, the city and county of Denver. You are an integral part of the success achieved by Denver International Airport, which today stands as the 5th busiest airport in the country, surpassing some 53 million passengers a year. I am proud to say United Airlines operates over 40% of the flights that leave DIA on a daily basis. Your decision to grow your 800-plus person Denver Flight Training Center rather than consolidate the pilot training program in Houston or build a new complex in Chicago was one of the best news days I ever had as mayor of this great city. And we're excited to welcome you here in just a few short years. Your decisions to add more than 250 jobs to our local economy and solidify our relationship as one has limitless possibilities. You should just take a look at what we've already done together, United in Denver, to accomplish the pride that we have today. We can start back in 1969, some 46 years ago, when the current United Flight Training Center was completed. It was the largest indoor contiguous office space in Colorado at the time that it opened. Fast forward to 2013, and together we launched a nonstop flight to Tokyo, which is today one of our pride joys of all the international flights that leave Denver. Last year, we launched a nonstop flight from Denver to Panama City, which is considered the gateway to South America. And we didn't stop there. In August, we were able to consummate a deal that extends a United hub here at DIA through 2035. I am proud to say this to you, but I truly believe it. With United Airlines in Denver, Colorado, the best is yet to come. Finally, I would like to mention the overwhelming support from the Dahl Fund regarding Metro State Aviation through way of Captain Jason Dahl Scholarship Program. I understand, and I learned this tonight, that the first scholarship recipient of the Jason Dahl Fund was a graduate of Metropolitan State College here in Denver. Since 2002, the Dahl Fund has given over $150,000 to over 50 colleges and universities, making it one of the largest aviation scholarship programs in the country. Jason Dahl was a resident of the Denver metro area, revered soundly as a distinguished United Airlines instructor and evaluator. His funds annually produce some $5,000 scholarships are critical to aviation training and help the young people to afford the very expensive training that they engage in. It's clear the Captain Jason Dahl Scholarship Fund, United Airlines Operations, the Airline Pilot Association, and the City and County of Denver share a common belief in excellence in aviation. Tonight, you get to meet one beautiful, smart, talented, and accomplished young lady, Amelia Earhart, who represents that excellence as she has become, the same excellence I just talked about, as she became the second youngest female aviator to circumnavigate, I'm speaking over my words right now, circumnavigate the world, and is a Denver fixture. She has an exhibit on display, by the way, here at Wings Over the Rockies Museum, and is our featured speaker tonight. You're in for a treat, as she is one of our cherished gems, and I'm so glad to see her here. And as I told her tonight, I haven't seen her since she took her world tour. We're glad you made it back safely. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I'm so proud and honored that I was able to come by tonight to simply thank all of you for your support of the Jason Dahl Scholarship Fund, and to thank United Airlines for all that they do, not only here in Denver, but around the globe, in making sure that we all fly safely. And I want, on behalf of the City and County of Denver, to say to all of you, thank you for giving so unselfishly. Thank you for modeling the greatness of this nation. And may we never forget what happened some 14 years ago. I know you won't, because I know I won't. As I leave the stage, I want you to, again, I encourage you to think about that tree that stands next to the memorial in New York City. I encourage you to go take a look at it. Continue to show that same resolve. And as we continue to deal with the terrorism around the world and here at home, we're going to have to continue to demonstrate that same resolve to uphold and to cherish the memories of those who were lost on that fateful day, but also show the world that we are indeed the United States of America. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Hancock. Thank you for coming today, and I appreciate you for being here. And just a little memento, and the mayor did give Amelia's bio. I'll never top that. Continuing on, I'd like to thank those special guests and the sponsors of this event. Mike McCaskey, is he here? Stand by, Mike. We have a little plaque for you also. We'll bring it over to you. Okay. Jay Hepner is our union master chairman. And Tyne, he was the CEO of Jepson for many years, and now he's the vice president of the Boeing Digital Publications. And when he was at Jepson, he started making donations through Jepson to us, and he's given us over $60,000. And also with us tonight is Mike Williams from the Colorado Credit Union, and he takes all our funds and he lets it keep on growing, growing, and growing. So thank you, Mike. Where's Mike at? Okay. This time I'm going to have Mike McCaskey come up as the Director of Training for United Airlines. Mike and I have known each other for over 20 years. He's flown many aircraft for United Airlines, worked in the training center for years and years, chief pilot in Denver, and at this time his plate is full because a few months ago they announced that the new training center is going to stay right here in Denver, and Mike is going to be operating that and organizing the whole thing. Michael.
I apologize for having to put my glasses on this evening. I can't seem to make the print any bigger than and keep it on a couple of pages. But thank you to Denny, Dave, the board for the opportunity to speak tonight. On behalf of myself and the 85,000 employees at United Airlines, many are here tonight. I'd like to thank you. I'm going to focus a little bit on the Flight Training Center. The mayor captured some of the data or the statistics. But as it relates to the work that Jason did, he was always focused on giving something back. So at United, we like to take pride in the fact that we want to be a good corporate and community citizen. When the training center consolidates, just to give you some idea, and for the young people here, I want you to listen very carefully to the numbers that I'm going to tell you. We will retire at United Airlines 2,500 pilots between the year 2012 and 2019. As a result of that, we will be in a continuous hiring effort of 800 to 1,000 pilots every year for the foreseeable future. Our entire seniority list, and I can't give you the ages because I'd probably get in trouble for that, will be new by the end of 2034. Think about the opportunity there for the young people. And I know there's plenty of scholarship award winners here, and I hope you see this as the same opportunity as many of us. The consolidated operations that we will have annually, as you know, we're at 23 acres over here off of MLK in Quebec. We have 32 simulators. We will be full when we consolidate operations with 30 simulators, and we have plans to grow. We will conduct over 800 transition or qualification events for the foreseeable future. If you think about the length of stay, that means a pilot's visiting us while they transition to a new airplane every 30 days, or for at least 30 days. Additionally, each one of those pilots comes back to see us for recurrent training, and we do over 16,000 of those events annually. We generate in the city of Denver $14 million annually in hotel revenue. We operate at the training center, the flight training organization. The average operating expense is $850,000 a day. So it costs us almost $1 million a day to turn the lights on. So the transition plan for that, for our move now has actually started as the mayor announced. We revealed to the mayor the day of the 20th anniversary celebration of DIA. We swore the governor and the mayor to secrecy. I'm not sure how he slept that night, but I'm sure he was ecstatic when we announced the next day. We will start moving people to the Denver campus here this fall, and we will actually plan to start moving devices in May of 2016. We have a very aggressive timeline to complete that transition by the summer of 17. When we are done, we will have over 1,000 employees at the facility, and we will be, as I mentioned earlier, 30 plus simulators and ready to grow for more. So let me fast forward and kind of bring this back to the work that Jason did as an instructor and the community outreach that he offered and supported so well. Jason's love for flying and the profession was about giving back, and is reflected here this evening by your participation and your support to the Dahl Fund. But for the young people, I would like to leave you with a couple of comments as you partake and continue in your aviation career, to think about the work that Jason had started for many of us and how you can continue that legacy. Jason would tell you the definition of success is where opportunity and hard work intersect. You will be asked to work very hard, and as I just identified a little bit earlier, you will have the opportunity. He was a staunch advocate for community service and giving something back, and as many of us know, was a valuable mentor and friend along the way. And as Jeff Kramer will tell you, he's a heck of a practical joker as well. But your journey for the young people continues tonight, and it starts with being a professional, and that starts with being a safe aviator who is a customer-focused pilot. You are dedicated, as I mentioned earlier, you will work hard, and that innate sense, that self-motivation is that key driver that exists inside of each one of you. And you will need to focus on precision and take pride in everything that you do. So as I close, I would just, as I mentioned, leave with a couple of thoughts. As I mentioned, the definition of success is where opportunity and hard work intersect. I would encourage all of the young people here to strive for perfection, but always settle for excellence. Focus on giving your true best effort every time. And always remember that excellence is a choice. And that was the legacy that Jason left us, and I hope you guys, you young people, will embrace that philosophy as you move forward. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight, and there's a great simulator ride over there, so I hope you will take advantage of that opportunity. So thank you all very much.
Mike and I go back a long time. We've worked on a couple projects, but the one comment he made about the future aviators is about safety and customer service. Now, how many active pilots are here? And how many future pilots for United Airlines are here? Okay, guys. All right. So we all start being safe, but I'm going to set the bar. I leave in 9 months, so I'm going to set the bar for customer service, and you have to get above this bar. All right, I'm in Boston. It's a 5 o'clock in the afternoon business flight, international connections for many of our customers. The cleaner comes up the cockpit and says, "Captain, I dropped the radio, my walkie-talkie, 3 inches by 8 inches, down the forward lavatory." And I said, "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to tell my boss." So we're required to send that information to our maintenance department. Send it off to maintenance. Cleaners drop the radio down the forward lavatory and a little computer on the airplane. They board the airplane, it takes 45 minutes. Well, another 20 minutes after everybody's in their seats, not a word. And we have to get released by the maintenance department before we can depart. Whether it's deferred, they're going to leave it in the lavatory, or they're going to remove it. So now it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we called maintenance twice, no response. They said, "We're working on it." Well, after 40 minutes, I said, "Someone's got to come out here and tell me what's going on, because I have to tell my customers." Well, out walks the mechanic in front of the cockpit. I get out of my seat, put my hat on, put my blazer on, and meet him back by door 2 left. It's right behind the first class section on a Boeing 757. He walks through the door. I said, "What's going on?" He says, "Captain, the cleaners dropped it down there. They should take it out." When I came here, I was a Navy pilot for 20 years. My mission was defined and my direction was true. But when I came here, I found out that there's words like "can't" or "it's not my job." And I took those out of my vocabulary. I never used those 2 words in my lifetime at United Airlines for 30 years. So anyway, I looked at the mechanic and I says, "Follow me." We walk up to the cockpit, or the forward lavatory. I looked at the flight attendant. "Let me have a plastic bag." She gives me a plastic bag. I take my hat off, my blazer off, give it to the mechanic, stick my arm in this plastic bag, and forcibly I shove it into the forward lavatory. Now, I'd never done that before, so I really didn't know how deep it was, but I was a little frustrated, so I put it in a little more forcibly than I should have, and I hit it, and it scoots off. So then I said, I already made the commitment, so I have to continue with this mission. So I get on my hands and knees, and the flight attendant, I hear her saying, "I'm going to film this." So there's no way I'm going to turn my head back and ask the mechanic, what are the dimensions of this holding tank? So I'm squeezing everything softly, moving my hand around, and I finally get the radio. I pull it out. Now, anything that goes in that forward lavatory, you're supposed to report, so this is our secret. So I pulled it, when I was pulling my hand back, it got stuck with that little flapper you always see in the forward lavatory. So my arm got stuck, so I took the pen out of my pocket, I moved the flapper, pulled my radio out, and I threw the pen in there. And I didn't write that one up. And I just re-inverted the bag, and I went ahead and gave it to the mechanic and said, "Let's go." Well, 3 weeks later, this mechanic wrote me a nice email and apologized for what happened. He says, "Captain, that was my job. You shouldn't have done it. It will never happen again." So gentlemen, your future at United Airlines, that's the bar. So get above that. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Captain Jay Heppner. He serves as chairman of the United Master Executive Council of the Airline Pilots Association International, representing more than 12,500 of United pilots, professional pilots. He's held that position since January 2012. Captain Heppner, a 30-year United veteran, is based in San Francisco as a Boeing 777 captain. A longtime ALPA volunteer, Captain Heppner previously served as MEC Negotiating Committee Chairman, co-chairman of the ALPA Joint Negotiating Committee, and chairman of the MEC Communications Committee. He also serves as director of United Continental Holdings Incorporated. Captain Hepner is a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. Captain Hepner.
I don't know if I can top that. Lost, but not gone. Missed, but never forgotten. Living on through those who will always remember our brothers, heroes of the sky. Earlier today at the United Airlines Denver Training Center, a ceremony was held to rededicate a 9/11 memorial that was organized by the pilots of the former JFK Council of 52, whose members were hit hard by the senseless acts of 9/11. On the memorial were those words, written by the daughter of United Captain Mark Seal. Megan Seal's words captured the spirits and legacies of Captain Jason Dahl, Captain Vickers Saraceni, First Officer Michael Horrocks, and First Officer Leroy Homer Jr. The loss of these four pilots, along with the 2,973 other innocent people 14 years ago, continues to touch our hearts and our lives. Each anniversary of that day continues to be a solemn day, a day of reflection and of mourning. Each year on this day, bells toll for all those who lost their lives on 9/11. But in truth, our pilots honor their memory each day when we enter the flight deck. The tragedy of 9/11 left an indelible scar and changed our nation's psyche, and forever changed our way of life. But rising from the ashes that day was a resilient spirit that carried this nation and the pilot profession forward. We dedicate ourselves to improving aviation security, to making our airports and skies safer, and continued our commitment to excellence. This is what Captain Dahl would have expected from each of us. Today, in locations all over this great country, mark this sad anniversary by remembering and honoring those who perished. Last night I was at a luminary for Flight 93 in Pennsylvania with the families and friends of the victims of that ill-fated flight. I spent time with the mother and the cousins of Cece Lyles, one of the flight attendants that was on that flight. I spent time with the mother and many of Leroy's 7 sisters. He was Jason's first officer. And I committed to them that we will never forget. We must continue to dedicate ourselves to caring for those who lost loved ones on that horrible day. We are the caretakers of the memories of those who died on 9/11, and we are the guardians of the legacy they left behind. The memories of our 4 fallen pilots have been immortalized by the efforts of a number of people, family members, friends, and fellow employees, and those of you in this room tonight. It is my honor to be here with you at this gathering sponsored by the Wings Over the Rockies Museum in support of the Captain Jason Dahl Scholarship Fund. May we honor Captain Dahl and his fellow pilots who fell that day by never forgetting. May we continue to honor their memory. Lost, but never gone. Missed, but never forgotten. Living on through those who will always remember our brothers, heroes of the sky. Thank you.
Since this is the 14th anniversary of 9/11, it is fitting to look back and remember the events of the heroes of 9/11. I would like to introduce Bob Bubba Rocco. Bubba is a pharmacist and director of the National Pharmacy Program for Kaiser Permanente. In his spare time, he is an accomplished motorcyclist with land speed racer records held in the South Flats. Tonight, Bubba is sharing his passion for heroes and heroism associated with 9/11 and Flight 93. Please give us a round of applause for Bubba.
Thank you, Denny. Good evening. I'm Bob Rocco, and welcome. It's great to see everyone, and such an honor to be associated with this inaugural event. This really is a special evening because tonight we're here to celebrate heroes, and specifically to recall the heroes and heroism associated with Flight 93 as it perilously navigated through the fateful events of 9/11. As we get started, on this 14th anniversary, I want each of us to pause for a moment and think about 9/11. Think about what you know. Think about your personal memories and your reaction that day. And remember what you felt. Some of you may have been quite young and have very little memory of 9/11, while others in younger generations may not have been born yet, and your knowledge is only as deep as what you've learned. It's important to learn about 9/11. And although we may never really understand it, it's always important for us to pause and remember. During our lives, each of us can expect a small few sentinel moments or flashbulb moments. Those things that profoundly stick in our memory. And even at young ages, we can have vivid memories of particular events, including where we were and what we were doing at the time. These are often things that strongly connect in some way, have personal meaning, or possibly emotional significance. For me, in my life, I have four. The JFK assassination, where I too was quite young, but I have vivid memories. The first time that we walked on the moon, the Challenger explosion, and yes, 9/11. My memories of 9/11 actually begin the day before, Monday, September 10th. And I've truly never understood why my memory tries to link September 11th with September 10th. But I've come to believe that it's likely there's some significance for me in how things can go from complete contentment and normalcy to shock and tragedy in literally moments of time. It makes us realize that there really is a very delicate balance influenced by events in the world. Sometimes a balance that we ourselves have very little control. For me, the day before was like most other days, except on this particular evening, it was the Denver Broncos' first home game in our new stadium. And it was Monday Night Football. As Bronco fans, we look forward to this day as we watch the new stadium being built right next to the old stadium. And there must be some irony in the fact that we played the New York Giants. Yes, the Broncos went on to win that evening, and I remember such good feelings as I left the stadium that night, smiling and happy, content and normal. Yes, life was good. Yet in that particular moment, little did I know the broad significance